Hello students, today we start a new topic in chapter number 8, valuation of a subject, professional practice and valuation. So we discuss a topic of a different form of value. So here there are main total 15 types of the value. So here listed in a slide like market value, book value, scrap value, salvage value, accommodation value, distress value, monopoly value, replacement value, investment value, sentimental value, speculative value, annual value, potential value, occupational value, and present value. So one by one we discuss on it. First we discuss about the market value. So what is market value? So the market value of a property is the amount of which can be obtained at any particular time from the open market if the property is put for the sale, and the market value will differ from time to time according to demand and supply. So the market value depends on the main four things. First is a change in industry, second is a means of transport, third one is a change charges on changes on fashion, and cost of material and labor. Now second type of the value is a book value. So book value is defined as the value of the property shown in the account book in that particular year, like the original cost less the total depreciation till that year. So like a book value at the end of the particular year is equal to original cost, means purchase value or original price minus total depreciation till the end of the year. So it's a book value, and the book value of the property gradually reduce at a constant amount of the year after year up to the limit of scrap value. It's a utility period, so it's a book value. Now third value is a scrap value. So scrap value is the value dismantled material of a property at the end of its utility period for a building when life is over. At the end of its utility period, the dismantled materials such as steel, bricks, timber, etc. will fetch a certain amount, which is the scrap value of the building. And scrap value is also known as a junk value or a dismantle value. Now fourth type of the value is a salvage value. So it is the estimated value of a property at the end of its useful life without being dismantled, and it is generally accounted by deduction the depreciation from its new cost. And but there are times when the salvage value is of the seizable amount, and there are other times when it is minus the quantity. And fifth type of the value is the accommodation value. So the value of the surrounding agricultural land of a city which is expanding considerable will be more if the land is converted into accommodation, and the land after obtaining the approval from the competent authority, the value of the such a land is known as a accommodation value. Now sixth type of the value is a distress value. So in case of the property is sold at a lower price than the market value at that time, so it is said to have a distress value. Such a distress value may be due to any one of the following reasons. So here, financial difficulty of a seller, second is a quarrel among partners, and third one is a court decrease, and insufficient knowledge of a seller. So these are the four reasons for the distress value. Now seventh type of the value is a monopoly value. So in some cases the property poses the certain advantages with respect to adjoining property due to its location, size, shape, etc. So the owner may demand a fancy price. So such a value is known as a monopoly value. Now 8 is a replacement value. So it is the present value of the property or a portion thereof if these have to be replaced at the current market rate. so it's called a replacement value. Now ninth value is the investment value. So investment value of a property indicates the amount offered by a prudent purchaser, keeping in a view the advantages of possessing the property from a investment point of view is a investment value. Now 10th is a sentimental value. So when the property is sold or purchased at a higher value than the market value due to playing or sentiments in the mind of owner or the purchaser, it is known as a sentimental value. Now 11th type of the value is a speculative value. So a proposal to construct a national highway or an airport or a water line or like an undeveloped area will causes a rise in a value. So speculator purchase such a property at a low price as far as possible, known as a speculative value. Now 12th is the annual value. So the local cost authority has to decide the annual value of the property so that taxes can be calculated on the basis. Such annual value of a property has to be fixed by observing the principle of rating valuation. Now 13th type of the value is a potential value. So when a property is capable of fetching the more return due to its alternative use or by advantageous planning or providing some development work, such as inherent value of a property is known as a potential value. And 14th type of the value is occupational value. So when the purchaser are attracted to own property for occupying for their personal use, which is regarded as a necessity and no satisfactory substitutes exist, then this is known as a occupational value. And last one is a present value. So the value of the property calculated from a present market rate is known as a present value. So here in another topic we discuss about factor affecting value of a property. So there are the main 12 factors which is affect the property value of property. So first is the demand and supply. So few buyer as compared to the number of property available for a sale in a locality will result in a low price for the property and vice versa. And second factor affect is maintenance. So in a maintenance, if the property maintained, its life will increase and its value will be higher. And third one is a rise in a population. So how to affect the rise in a population affect the value of a property? So rise in a population due to growth of new industries will result in a heavy demand of land and building and property. Now fourth one is the abnormal condition. So how to affect the abnormal condition in a valuation of the property? So due to abnormal insecure condition like riots, war, earthquake, etc., value may be dropped and remain so far a considerable period. And fifth factor is cost of construction. So the present cost of construction affect the value due to rapid change in price index in comparison with the rate of depreciation. And sixth one is the purpose of purchase. So the purpose for which the property is purchased and greatly affect the value of the property. If the land is purchased for a residential purpose, so value is increase higher. So it's sixth one factor. And seventh is a town planning act. So how to affect the town planning act in valuation of a property? So if the planning authority of a locality decide to convert a particular residential zone into commercial zone, so there will be sudden shooting up of the value in that area. So suddenly rise the value of the property because town planning act is apply on that area. And eighth factor is a climate condition. So in some of the region of a good climate and more people will prefer to stay and will result a higher value of property. And ninth factor is the life. So new property has a higher value and old property has a lower value. It's a simple thing. 10th factor which affect the value of the property is improvement by a public scheme. So the taking up any public service scheme like water line, sewer line and transportation etc. to an area will tend to make area more attractive and will be closely followed by an increase in a land value. And 11th is a migration. So migration of people to or from the area may increase or decrease the land price and vice versa. And 12th is the interest of scheduled bank. So by lowering the scheduled bank interest, higher may be interested people for making more money available for investment in a property and vice versa. Now some of the other topics we discuss in this lecture is annuity. So annuity is a net installment of an annual or periodical payment for repayment of the capital amount invested in a property for a specific period of time. And generally annuity indicates the annual payments, and annuity is either paid at the beginning or at the end of the year. And here we discuss about the type of annuity. So there are main 4 types of the annuity. First is the annuity certain, second is the annuity due, deferred annuity, and fourth one is a perpetual annuity. So what is annuity certain? So if an annuity is payable at the end of each period for a certain number of years is known as a annuity certain. And what is annuity due? So when the annuity is payable at the beginning of each period of the year and payment continue for a definite number of period, it is known as a annuity due. And third one is a deferred annuity. So when the annuity commences after a few years from the actual date of a capital investment, so it is known as a deferred annuity. And last one is a perpetual annuity. So when the annuity is receivable for an indefinite period, it is known as a perpetual annuity. And through annuity means annual payment, the amount of annuity may be paid by a 12-month installment or quarterly or half yearly installment. And next topic we discuss is amortization. So when the payment of debts is made by the series of equal periodic installments is known as a amortization. And this is accumulation of a sinking fund at a compound interest for a payment of debt. And each periodical payment include true provision. First one is a certain portion of a capital, and the second is an account of interest on a outstanding debt. And installment of a loan is equal to P in the bracket I plus SF. Now here IL is the rate of interest, and P1 plus I raised to n multiply by I divided by 1 plus I raised to n minus 1. So where here P is the amount of loan and I is the rate of interest, and n is the number of annual installments, and SF sinking fund is I divided by 1 plus I raised to n minus 1. So this equation we already discussed in a last lecture. So sinking fund I is equal to I divided by 1 plus I raised to n. Now in a detail we discuss about the sinking fund SF. So sinking fund is an amount which has to be set aside at a fixed interval of a time, say annually, and out of the gross income, so that at the end of useful life of the building or a property, the fund should accumulate to the initial cost of the property. And total sinking fund required is a cost of new property scrap value of a old property. So it's a equation. Now annual investment of a sinking fund is equal to C minus S. So C is the cost of a new property, and S is the scrap value of the old property, multiplied by SF. We are already discussed SF is I divided by 1 plus I raised to n minus 1. So here I is the rate of interest and n is the life of property. Now next topic is a year purchase, YP. So year's purchase is defined as a capital sum required to be invested in order to receive an annuity of rupees 1 at a certain rate of interest, and to get the 1 rupees per year interest rate, I amount required to be deposited is 1 multiplied by 1 divided by I, and to get the X rupees per year at and the interest rate I, so amount required to be deposited as a X multiplied by 1 divided by I. So here year purchase is equal to 1 divided by I. Now next is the capitalized value. So capitalized value equation is the net income multiplied by year purchase. So in a short form, CV is equal to NI multiplied by YP. So single rate of year purchase to here divide into two parts: single purchase, capital value, and here to calculate the year purchase when the rate of interest, capital investment and rate of interest for a deposited sinking fund is considered the same, then this is known as a year purchase for a single rate. So I is equal to IS. S is a single rate of interest, and to calculate the year purchase when the rate of interest and a capital is different from the rate of interest on a sinking fund. So this is known as a year purchase for a dual rate year purchase. So normally I greater than IS. So I is a rate of interest and S is a sinking fund. Now last topic is a capitalized value, CV. So the capitalized value of a property is the sum or amount the interest on which the highest prevailing rate would be equal to the net income out of property. And to know the capitalized value of the property, it is required to know the net income from the property and the highest prevailing rate of interest. So capitalized value is equal to net income multiplied by year purchase. So equation is a CV is equal to NI multiplied by YP, year purchase. So here we complete our topic. Thank you.